everyone. My name is JPaul Hernandez, and welcome to the JPaul Hernandez podcast. We talk about success stories of everyday people, inspiring things that happen to them. And at the end of the day, we just want you to learn to live your best life and stop living small. I personally believe that dreams come true no matter what your story is in life, and that's why I'm interviewing different people, because I want you to get inspired by their life, whatever they went through. If you can relate, share it to someone, and let's share more light instead of putting down people and comparing and competing with each other. Let's stop the stigma and all of those things. For this episode, I'm so excited because I got a friend, and when I thought about this concept, I messaged her, and then just took a risk. Hey, can you just invite some friends too? So she found another friend, and the topic today is about successful single moms. And I've noticed that at our season, like 2020, there's still so much stigma about single moms, that whole issue. And we just really want to put more light and hope in this, not to put people down, but to lift each other up. So first, let me invite my friend, and let's just say hi to her. Her name is Denise Marino. Hi, Den.
Hi guys. So this is our first time. Okay, it's my first time, so super excited to be here. And thanks Nina for saying yes to me.
Yay!
Yeah. So I'm not alone in this.
It was an easy
Yay.
Hey.
yes.
Yeah.
Easy yes.
Thank
So
you.
so with that being said, her friend I just met through IG. Her name is Niña Defensor. Hi, Niña.
Hi, I'm so happy to be here and I'm excited to talk about the tea.
Yay!
I
Thank you,
love
How
it.
ladies.
meetups are
Ah,
nowadays via
Yeah,
IG and social media.
that's right.
yeah.
For those of you who don't know, sometimes just because life is so busy during this pandemic, I'm so lazy working out. But every time I see the stories of Denise, I just really have to move. So sometimes I work out not because I want to, but this girl is just really inspiring me. So there.
And that's how I met her.
Aww.
I met her
Yeah,
through
yeah.
fitness.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was
Oh,
about to
okay,
say
okay.
that. Actually, all three of us, it's like one thing that we have in common that I'm not sure if you guys noticed that in our short
The
conversation.
fitness.
We all love
Yeah.
fitness. It's still a
Yeah.
Yay.
coping mechanism.
And it
Yeah,
was
yeah.
it was an easy click. We clicked right
Yes,
away, but within
yes,
5 minutes, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mm. Nice, nice, nice. Okay, before I ask you guys what you do and stuff like that, can you just share? I like to start my interviews with just three things you're grateful for, just to really start the energy moving. So, who wants to start?
I can start.
Who's
Once again.
start?
Uh,
Because this is actually a daily practice that I do. I always write down three things I'm grateful for and at least three affirmations. And today I wrote that I'm grateful for my breath because I've lost a couple of people. I mean, losing one person in a year is a lot, na, diba? But I've lost at least three close friends of mine.
mm,
I'm grateful for my breath. I'm grateful for my daughter's sense of humor, and I'm grateful for work that keeps coming in without hard
Oh,
effort. Yeah.
nice, nice. How about you, Denise?
um, I feel like it's pretty much the same thing. I'm grateful for health
No copy and
because
paste.
well, it's true though, especially at this
Just
time.
kidding.
My goodness, it's so
Yeah.
insane. Like just to be
Especially
healthy
now.
now, it's like yeah. Anyway, there just for health, for movement. That's one thing I wake
Yes.
up every day thankful for that I'm injury free. Sorry, but then like you mentioned, and it might be a personal quirk for me, but then like you mentioned, fitness plays a huge part in my life, and it's a huge coping mechanism for me. So just to wake up injury free and able to move and healthy is a huge like thank you God for me. I think the other, and yeah, the last, honestly, right now with everything that's going on, not just in the Philippines but with the world, one thing I'm thankful for is I still have my job. So, it's I'm still I'm thankful to still be keeping afloat when things could be going really, really bad for me right now. So yeah.
Nice. Thank you so much. Yes, for me, I'm grateful for today. I've been looking forward
Oh,
to this
nice.
discussion. And I really enjoyed my workout. I thought it was gonna be light, but I didn't know. So I'm retraining my squats because I lost some power just because I got
Oh my
lazy.
gosh, I've been seeing your IG stories. I'm like, you're getting movement in on the daily. Yeah.
Love
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
that.
because
oh
yeah,
my
because
god.
it was hard during when ECQ
Amazing.
started. Thank you. Everything with business got really crazy, so parang I didn't have time to work out. So and it's bad. So yun, and grateful for today, the workout, and grateful for just, I
No,
was
I
able
totally get it.
to relax this morning, had a good way to start the day. So yun. Anyway, thank you so much, ladies. Can you just share whatever you can about what your life looks like right now? As we know, you're both single moms, but that does not just that thing is a part of you that doesn't define you. It's a part of a bigger you. Can you just give our audience, describe to them, paint them a picture what your life looks like, what keeps you busy, what makes you happy, and stuff like. You can share anything you want.
You
Go,
wanna go
Denise.
first?
Me. Okay. Okay, because you know how you asked for like a profile. So I was thinking about it. I think the best way to sort of describe my life or like what I do, lalo na now with COVID and everything, is that I have a 9 to 5. So I'm a salesperson from 9 to 5. I am a workout junkie. If that isn't obvious yet, every other time in between or every other time I'm not working. So that's morning, nighttime, and maybe even lunchtime. And I am Rafi's mom forever. So those are the three main roles, I guess, that define me. So if you ask me like what my day-to-day life is like, it really just revolves around those three things. It's really just fitness, it's working out, it's clocking movement in. Right now during ECQ especially, it's clocking in my daily run. So if I'm not at home in front of the laptop, I'm out running. And it's spending time with Raf because obviously now with ECQ and all this online schooling and adjusting, it's insane. Now having to teach him how to navigate Windows and PowerPoint and things that come normal to us as obviously as professionals, as people that are part of the corporate world. But suddenly when you have to teach at 9, 10-year old how to minimize Windows, what Microsoft Word is, how to submit, how to even just send an email, everything just becomes 10 times more complicated. So that's what my life or my daily routine looks like now. Yeah.
Wow. Thank you. You're a super woman, super mama. Thank you for, I really honor you. It's not easy.
Yay.
As me,
Oh yeah.
me and my wife, just handling a toddler is so hard already. And I honor you. I honor all the single parents who are just
Yeah.
doing their
No,
best.
single
And
moms are just not to toot not to toot like my own horn or anything or whatever, but then single moms are really just super strong ass people. Like,
yep,
yeah.
Yeah.
yep. How about you,
Super.
Nina? Uh, you want to share?
Of course. My days. Okay, because I'm unlike Denise. My days are a lot more spontaneous because coming from that corporate background, turned full time artist. Oh, hold on. Can I excuse myself for like 2 minutes? Someone is
We're
knocking on
not,
my door.
we're not gonna kill you. All right. So yeah. So then let's just talk first. Wow.
Okay.
Yeah. How do you? So like for sales, you're in B2B sales, right? You're not like consumer sales. Am I right? Because
Consumer
you're a
sales.
yeah, consumer. Oh, consumer
Okay,
sales.
I'm
Okay.
back.
So
Yeah. So
oh, all right.
there is okay.
Somebody
That's a
delivered
fast
my
two
Okay.
mail.
minutes.
That's
Nice,
live,
nice.
live
Okay, while
show
Nina talks,
stream.
I'm gonna get my charger.
Go, 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 go.
Okay, so because coming from that whole routinary life of being in a 9 to 5 And I've always worked 2 to 3 jobs ever since. Now,
Wow.
as a single mom, my days are filled with online schooling and playing and painting and attending to my art clients because I'm also a cosmetic tattoo artist. And I can't ever function without meditating. I probably meditate at least 2 to 3 times a day. So
Wow. That's
I
really
tried,
amazing.
this is how I juggle my life, and I have been juggling my life for about 4 years now. I practice mindfulness very, very seriously. And since my schedule can be so spontaneous, it's always important for me to achieve everything on my tick list, my daily tick list. But I have been severely better at being just mindful and taking steps back and breathing so I can provide like better output. These days,
Wow.
yes. Especially during ECQ. I feel like my awakening during ECQ just shot through the roof all of a sudden just because you're grounded to your
That's
spot,
right.
diba?
I feel like so
Yeah.
many people become more meditative over ECQ,
Yeah.
Yes.
right? Like
Yeah.
self-reflective and okay.
I think everyone is
Yeah.
going through some kind of awakening,
Yes, yes,
That's true.
for
diba?
sure.
As
Dark
much
night of
as
the soul and
yeah.
coming out of it.
Yeah, yeah,
As much as bad things are happening today during this pandemic, a lot of good things are happening. Could be families starting to talk. Issues are, years and years of issues that, or sometimes some people have self-worth problems that they now have to deal with, and just whatever, people have to deal with stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, and that's why, so I invited Den because in my Facebook page, a lot of women have been messaging me, single moms, with their issue and just really heartbreaking, and that's why, I want to discuss this, and I want to get women who are strong. I mean, I believe all women are strong. It's just that women that have taken charge of their life and rose up, and and that um, so I just want to get to the meat end of the discussion because we want to talk about a lot of stuff today. So whoever wants to start, how did it happen? How did you become a single mom? Let's start with that question. I know that's a very loaded question, but I want you ladies to know that this is a safe space, and I love you both even if I cannot embrace you, and we're here to uplift this. We're here to champion this truth that women should be free and be the best you. And for those who
perfect.
are listening, if you're gonna bash us, I'm gonna kill you. Just kidding. So let's support these ladies. Yeah, so it's a very loaded question, but feel free to share whatever. So whoever wants to start, then you look very fidgety. You want to start?
No, actually, when you mentioned it, I was thinking about the conversation that we had because you remember how leading up to this whole podcast, I was telling you that um, I'm not sure if it's obviously because I haven't lived anywhere else apart from the Philippines. But we're living in such a traditional society. So I don't know if it makes this situation of being a single mom even more difficult just because of the society that we're in.
Yeah.
Right.
I also mentioned to you before that I was talking to my mom about it. I said, Mom, how many single mom friends do you have? And she goes, hindi yun uso nung time ko. It's only during your time that like it's uso. But then back in my day, everyone just, tried to make it work or something. So I kind of took that to mean that maybe now, maybe, or this is just my personal take on it, maybe now women are more empowered.
Yeah.
They believe now in standing up for themselves, for their rights. They they believe in pushing for whatever they believe in now more than ever. So that's how I took it to mean. But it is pretty difficult, I feel. Okay, to go back to your question. No, that was a springboard kasi for your question because you mentioned how did it start. And the funny thing is, so I was married. Um, Obviously, I was married, and I was with my ex-husband for 10 years. So that's a pretty long time. We were college sweethearts. So yeah, we were together for a decent amount of time. And right when everyone in our batch, all of our friends, all of our family members, everyone our age, everyone was looking to get married and settle down and start families. That was the time our marriage decided to was falling apart or like was on the rock. So it made things 10 times more difficult because you didn't have a support group at that time,
That's
or
right.
I didn't
That's
have a
right.
support group at that time. And when you voice it out to people, people would say, oh, "Why don't you just fix it?" Like like
The
nothing.
huge.
Put I could just put a patch on a wound and just imagine it away, something like that. And I particularly remember one friend told me, "But your life has come full circle already. Why do you want to go back?" And that
Yeah.
really made me think, like, what do you mean my life has come full circle? What are we talking about? It's not like life is a bucket list of things that
Mm.
I need to check and then okay, I'm done with life. I can now die.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah, yeah.
that really made me think hard about it. But then yeah, the lack of support made it pretty difficult because I felt like no one could understand just the whole process of things falling apart when everyone else just wants to make things work and everyone just wants to settle down because those are the milestones that we're sort of taught to hit, I think, at least growing up. Um, yeah, but obviously the relationship, we ended up getting annulled, so we're annulled now. And we're actually better now because Raf, sorry, my son doesn't see us fighting as much anymore. So we're both co-parenting. We still talk and everything. He still sees his son, and I mean, our relationship, at least in my opinion, is a lot better now. Yay!
Yay. Wow. Well, we'll go deeper
Yay!
in. I have so many
Yeah,
questions,
yeah.
but we'll go deeper in a bit. How about you, Nina? But
Yeah.
thank you for your courage. I really honor you.
So
For just
brave.
yeah, just thank you. Just so many words that I can say, but you're really strong, not just physically, but
Oh,
as a
thanks,
human being.
guys.
You are.
Everyone's strong.
Yeah.
There is strength and vulnerability talaga. And it's so freeing. In my case, I was with my baby daddy for about 4 years, but it was a 2 year breakup process. Because I'm
Oh.
that type of person who says, I am going to exhaust all my efforts before I call it quits. Like, I don't want to
Yeah,
half ass anything. But
yeah,
our intuition and women's intuition, we know
yeah.
when what we feel in our heart of hearts. I was actually sent to the US to give birth. My former partner isn't even an American citizen. Parang we were on that level. We were aligned in that sense na we wanted to be able to open up other opportunities and other doors abroad in case shit hits a fan in the Philippines and stuff like that. And during that time, I believe it was elections and election season in our life in particular, always becomes so crazy. So I was actually happy to flee and work in the States for a while and stuff like that. But it was already kind of rocky. So it became a very toxic relationship. That became based on emotional blackmail and verbal abuse.
Oh no.
Also because I told my ex that there's no shame in saying that there are mental health issues there. If you are
Yes.
bipolar, that's fine. I have so many friends who have who are bipolar, but in his case, parang he didn't really want to address it. So it became a very destructive and toxic relationship to the point where I lost my identity. You know, I
Yeah.
forgot who I was. I was really controlled and vulnerable and codependent because my dad had also passed away And
Oh.
in the turn that I took was to just face my ex-partner and say, oh, he's my saving grace. I should listen to everything he says, because at that time he also kept putting things in my mind. I can talk about this now, because I've been talking about this online for a
Yeah.
while na din. And he was like, nobody ever is going to love you and take care of you the way I do now that your dad is gone. And
Wow. That's
I,
crazy.
yeah, at that time, I was like, oh my God, he's right. He's totally right. And that was before I even got pregnant. So I clung to him, and like a remora to a shark, and he was the shark, and he fed off of that. His ego was fed, and I pretty much fed his ego every single day. He wouldn't leave without me being with him. I had to do all of his errands with him. And my life before
Wow.
this was, I was a very, very independent woman who was working 2 to 3 jobs at a corporate setting, very independent, very free spirited, until that very traumatic event happened in my life, which was the loss of my father. And then paired with somebody who was very no, who was not addressing his own mental issues, and then we just clung to each other, so um I woke up one day. It was his family member, his sister in fact, who was like, this is not right anymore. You have to leave. I can't i can't be a witness to this. I don't want to condone this behavior, even if this is my blood treating you
Yeah.
the way he's treating you. But it took me 2 years since the moment she told me that,
Wow.
because I it almost became physical. But to me, that physical abuse is easier to get over, in my opinion, than words, because words are energy and they scar. And I lost value for myself. I lost my friends because I was isolated from them. When I met Denise when I had just broken up, or I was about to break up with him pa lang. So I was
Right.
also 50 pounds heavier. And
Wow.
that's how much I lost myself, because I was always an athlete, but I totally lost myself. But I think it became a 2-year breakup process, because I was thinking of everything. Like, I am living under his roof. I have everything I need in this house. Um, to start over from scratch without a village behind me, because I've been out of the house since 16. I've been working and independent from my family, although we're a very tight knit family. Like, I've always worked for my own shit ever since I was a teenager. Sorry for the bad word. But so it was a very, very scary place to be in at that time. It was either stay and suffer and risk your sanity, or risk it all for freedom and your peace of mind. So somebody told me, kulang ka pa sa katok sa kokote. It will come one day. You will wake up. And it happened at 3 in the morning. One one night, I woke up and I poured my heart and my soul, and I tried to be as compassionate as possible. And I wanted him to believe that no blame game was to happen. It's just that at first we were two beings who were aligned, and we just fell out of alignment. That's it. And that's human nature. Of course, a lot of things happened in between, right after that. But when the moment happened, when I was like, okay, this is the day, I found an apartment. Probably 2 days after, I decided I was to leave, packed all my things, also prepared my daughter. She was 2 at the time, and I have no yaya. So I've been yaya-less for 3 years now. My daughter is 4, and I've been living here for 2.5 years alone with my daughter, with no yaya, no mom, nothing. So co-parenting is part of the equation, but it was difficult at first because syempre there's like a lot of issues that had to be solved, a lot of ego at
Yeah.
play that had to
Yeah.
be,
Yeah.
talked through and stuff like that. And it was hard coming from a place who practices mindfulness and peace, and to communicate with somebody who's the total opposite, right?
That's
So
right. That's right.
that's that. Pero to me, I prefer to not fight fire with fire. So no matter how violent or verbal it got from one end, I always try to just center myself, because I don't have anyone naman to back me up, eh, 'di ba? I don't have a posse
Yeah.
or anything. I only
Yeah.
have my peace of mind and my soul and my brain to like make the right decisions and say the right words.
Wow.
So that's yun.
Wow. Thank you, Nina. Um,
Welcome.
Thank you for pouring your heart and just being vulnerable. And I think that's what we need more as humans. Whatever your belief is, your faith, your religion, I think we're so caught up in looking good that we forget our souls. And that's what I want to honor you both today. For example, especially now, Nina, you and I don't know each other really, but thank you for just being just real, and I really appreciate it.
Of course.
And I feel that I need to tell you both and all the women out there, in behalf of men, I'm sorry. Uh,
You are
uh,
forgiven.
um, y- yeah, I mean, I've had my fair share of bad behavior when I was young. It comes from brokenness. Well, maybe I'll share next time. But I guess a lot of men are like that. And the thing is, unlike women, we don't really deal with it. I mean, for me, I that's why I'm here now doing all the things I did. I'm doing because God, somebody helped me, brought me to church, etc., etc., etc. Now I'm here helping people, but a lot of men just drink and do girls and drugs. So
Oh my God, that
behalf,
reminds me. That reminds me of a quote I saw online just yesterday. It said like,
yeah,
okay, everyone is going like, oh, I want to see guys in crop tops. I want to see more guys in eyeliner. I want to see more guys in this and that. And I just want to see more guys in therapy.
yeah.
that's all. That's all we need right now. Just more guys in therapy, please.
Yeah, because that's right. It's I think
Therapy is
with the
good.
ish. Yeah, yeah. I mean, for me, I've I've been through counseling, I've been through coaching. It really helped me a lot. Sometimes as a guy, you don't know that you have these issues, not this, but these many issues. And I really am
Yeah.
grateful for the people who help you pick me up. And for those who have been hurt like you and everyone else, sorry. I guess I just really need to put that out, and that's why we're doing what we're doing to
Yeah.
really help more, at least one person at a time, to just be strong or find their strength. Everyone's strong, they just don't know they found it, they have it. So I mean, I want to ask so many things, but what was life during your rock bottom, your worst days, as both of you have experienced it? Denise, how was yours?
Ah. Hmm. It was really, gosh, it's so hard to describe. Um, okay, you mentioned rock bottom. So there were in the past couple of years, at least in the past, let's say about 5-ish years, 5-ish, 6-ish years, there are two times I feel like I've hit rock bottom. The first was when obviously the marriage fell apart. So that's a year before my dad passed. You know, my dad passed away also. So it was
Okay.
I remember telling myself, oh my God, all of the guys in my life were just dropping out like flies. So it was very emotional. It was a very, very emotional year for me. Um, that was, and like I said, so everyone around, they're all like, oh, we're finding love, we're getting married, we're getting engaged, we're getting pregnant. And here I am fighting for an annulment. So,
Right.
you're the outlier.
Mm.
So you lose faith, or at least for me, I lost faith in love. I lost faith, and it sucks to admit that. I lost faith in love. I lost faith in relationships and finding someone. Um, I hated, I low key hated all of the cheesiness that you see on social media because you're so bitter. So you're just like, whatever, hindi naman yung tatagal eh. You know how people say that? And,
Yeah.
and you really believe that in your heart because obviously you're going through something, right? So that was the first time. And it lasted a pretty long time because there was a lot of hurt to deal with. A 10-year relationship isn't easy to just
Yeah.
kind of like get over.
Yeah.
You basically spent a decade with a person and you grew up with a person. So just
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
acknowledging that it's ended was already a process, a healing, something you needed to like a hurdle to get past.
Whole decade.
Um, Plus the lack of support around you, so it was difficult. So that was the first one. It lasted about a year and a half of me just being bitter and me just saying like, ugh, whatever, um, let's just not look at love. Let's just turn a blind eye to love and relationships and guys in general. Like all of them just suck. Something like that. Um, but then things started to get better. I think when I feel like hmm, I can't. I feel like at one point in time, maybe this happened with you also, Nina. At one point in time, you just it just starts to get feel better. You're not
Yeah.
sure. You don't. You're still bitter, but you're not as bitter. You're not rolling your eyes at every love scene anymore. You're not like, I change
Yeah.
channel. I don't want to see that. You're just not as mad anymore. But I mean, of
Yeah.
course, you still have your walls
Yeah.
up, but you're just not as um, averse to all of these love scenes and stuff. Oh, and there was also a time later on that I was at a friend's wedding. So I got invited to a friend's wedding. And I remember the friend told me, like, I said, oh, how are you? How are you? And then the friend goes like, oh my God, I'm so happy. I'm married. I'm married to the love of my life now, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh my God, that's great, right? And then he goes, my friend was the groom. My friend goes, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And I'm like, for what? And then he goes like, I don't know if it's insensitive to be saying that. And it hit me because I was thinking like, no, I mean, I don't, back then I didn't feel like love was for me, but that doesn't stop me from being happy for a
Yeah.
person
Yeah.
who has found
Yeah.
love.
Yeah.
Just because,
Yeah.
let's say I'm not in a happy relationship or I came out of a bad relationship doesn't mean like other people are destined for bad relationships. So that really hit me, and that was part of the healing process as well. Yeah, because I realized, and I told him that, honestly, seeing relationships like yours, and seeing how you treat one another, it gives me hope that there are actually good relationships and there's something maybe in the future for me to look forward to. Just maybe not like not then, but something to look forward to. Maybe a possibility
Yeah.
So
there.
beautiful. Wow, I love it. Amazing. You know what I think I want to honor you for that is you allowed yourself to grieve because
Yeah, I think it's
some people don't.
necessary.
Yeah, some
Yeah.
people like, oh no, they try to be okay, but that 1 year and a half of being angry, that's normal. I mean,
Yeah,
you have to go through it, and I wanna honor you
yeah.
for that.
No, but I think
Anyway,
it's also
Nina,
because
yeah, go ahead.
when you talk to friends about it, a lot of friends or family members, whoever, they're always like, "Come on, let's go! Like, get out of it! Like,
Yeah.
step up
Yeah.
It's
the
not
healing
easy.
process."
It's
It's
not
not.
easy.
It's not. And just let the person go through whatever it is that
Yeah.
he or she needs
You
to go
can't
through,
force the
and then
journey.
yeah,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
he or she will snap out of it in his or her own time. But in the meantime, you're just there for the person. You can't like rush it and be like, "Come on, wake up, let's go, come on, get over it, heal now."
Yeah.
Yep. You're right. You're right. Thanks. Nina, how about you?
Rock bottom. If I had been asked what rock bottom was for me, let's say a decade ago, it's totally different, right? I'd say, okay, my finances are not where it should be, blah blah. But rock bottom for me about 3 years ago, when I was going through this entire process, involved. Okay, backstory. Rewind a little bit. My line of work, every line of work that I'm involved in has to do with being personable. So I'm always faced with people. I always have to have a smile
Yeah.
on my face,
Yes.
in whether teaching my classes in fitness or dealing with my tattoo clients and other clients here on my side hustles, right? So the moment as a freelancer I do not portray or conduct myself well or conduct myself maasim or sour, then the potential to lose that person is higher for me because I'm not tied to a fallback. I'm not tied to a corporation or anything. So I am my own corporation, but I have to work for it. But when I was going through this, I was trying to move, uproot my life from that house to my apartment, carrying every single thing because I moved by myself. Nobody helped me.
Mm.
I had to shop for everything by myself, going through the grocery, crying because I was all alone. Like I had no support from my ex or from his family. My
Yeah.
family personally was away, so like buying trash cans and buying sofa beds and stuff like that and carrying my maletas. I did it all in one day and I probably took like 8 grab cars going back and forth. And in between like answering inquiries for my work just so I was desperate to not lose any clients because all the more that I needed these people.
Yeah.
So I'd be
Yes. Yeah.
crying and at the supermarket at Landmark, answering the phones and laughing with my client. And yes, I'll see you tomorrow, blah, blah. So that for me made me feel insane because my brain had
Right.
been so wired to function and to think a certain way, being devalued for so long. And
Yeah.
then
Yeah. Yeah.
with this spa, it was, I knew in my heart of hearts that I had to unlearn the 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 programming of my mind and reprogram my mind to be able to get past it and to be better, to come out stronger because a life was depending on me. And it was at that age where it was so sensitive because 2 years old is the age where their long-term memory starts to develop. So
Yes. Yes.
but in my daughter's case, she remembers things from one. So that was my rock bottom for me because it was more of a mental rock bottom more than a
Yeah.
physical.
Yeah.
Emotional, yes, they go hand in hand.
Mm. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, it made me feel crazy and unaware, unknowing of what kind of person I was. Syempre, every day I was like, what is wrong with me? Why can't I hold on to relationships? Why do I read all of these self-development books and it I still am not functioning the way these books are telling me to function no matter how hard I try. So it was one day I broke down when my mom finally came to visit. I was always tigas eh. Like I I was always, now I'm like a human empowerment advocate. Before it was bordering feminist talaga. So I was always like, no, I can do everything on my own. If I need to get something done, I'll just do it on my own. That's why I work this, and this. That's why I don't ask for anybody's help. That was just the chip on my shoulder. And then one time, my mom was like, it's healthy to let loose and to talk about it. And I finally did, which was the hardest thing to do. Like floodgates opened, and I
Oh
was like,
wow.
"Oh my god, I never told
Mom to the
anyone
rescue.
this." Oh, and my mom, kasi she's not even like an emotional person. So I never, unlike my dad, who's open to being vulnerable. My mom was like tigas, but then she was like, okay, this is, you have to talk about it. You can't be strong, because allowing yourself to be weak is, or vulnerable is strength in itself. So
Yes.
I learned the
Yeah,
hard way
I guess,
because
yeah.
it got me into the emergency room. I overworked myself para I would forget talking about my issues. So it was, if anything, the financial trouble was because of my medical bills. Lahat, I had gastroenteritis, I
No.
had like whatever, I developed Bell's palsy, as in grabe.
Wow.
Sobra, yeah.
Wow.
But now, no
Wow.
regrets though. No regrets.
Yeah.
I do not have one regret for everything that's happened.
Wow. It's, I don't know what to say, but you ladies, yeah, I mean, you're more than superwoman. You're built tough. Both of you, Nina and then Denise. Thank you just for sharing those. And I think a lot of people need to hear that, whether you're a single mom or not. You know that
Yeah.
that a human being can go through that adversity
Hmm.
and come up strong.
Yeah. I
Uh,
really believe. I believe in that so much. Law of attraction too is real.
yeah,
That
yeah.
played a really big role in turning my life around. Law of
And
attraction and just
I'm
manifestation.
yeah, I'm pretty sure. It's really, the power of what your mindset is very
Yeah.
strong. And I mean, I just really just getting your both of you sharing when you were, looking back, it was, the voice tone was very bleak, but as you moved forward with your sharing, there was just so much strength and fire in both of you, and I really want to honor that.
Yeah.
Um, and with that, maybe that's because I don't want to dwell on the bad things. I mean, yes, we have to. You have to
Yes.
grieve. You have to be in pain. You have to allow that to happen because that's life. Let's move forward and let's empower each other. Let's tell stories. That's strength and success. How did you start picking up yourself? How did you move forward, both of you? And yeah, anyone can start.
I Okay, so I started meditating more. I It was important for me to do my research. I did whatever was necessary, talking to people who were on that frequency, on that vibration of really honing their well-being and wellness, and people who were successful, who I considered successful in life, love, career. I would read and just watch YouTube videos on how to turn your life around, and that's how I started practicing mindfulness and law of attraction, and like reprogramming your mind. There's this guy, his name is Dr. Joe Dispenza, and he's a neurophysicist and a quantum physicist. He talks about how if there's a thing called psychosomatic illnesses, right? If your thoughts can make you sick, of course, it's very possible for your thoughts to make you well as well, diba?
Yeah.
So I took that very, very seriously. I was very, until now, quite obsessed and very much fascinated by how things have changed. I started feeling grateful. It's so basic, diba? It's so basic. Like,
Yes.
to feel grateful, and the most simple advice I've ever gotten from people who are like-minded is to surrender. I'm like, how do you surrender? How do you just surrender to the universe, to God, and just let go of the obsession to be perfect and to be successful, and let things be, because we're so programmed to be controlling, diba? We hold on to a thought or to a goal, and it creates so much resistance, and we develop the lack mentality, and that's where I was at until I started just thanking, my life and thanking our higher beings, our God and the universe for everything that I still have. Parang I'm okay, I'm
Right.
not dead yet. I'm not ruthless. And I really tried practicing that. And then it felt silly at first to tell myself I love myself. I had to go through therapy. I went through psychiatric help. I went through theta healing. I did all of it to get myself to heal. As in, I was desperate, talking to friends who were well-being counselors, life coaches, ganyan. Any single person I could talk to like gain wisdom from. And then they basically all said the same thing. Tell yourself you love yourself. This one woman was like, put your hand on your heart every morning and say, Nina, good morning, I love you. And it's gonna feel ridiculous for X amount of time. But then and it did. Parang I was like, ah, shit, I feel stupid. But as I kept doing it over and over again at night and then the evening, I started to notice a change in my environment and the things that I would receive, and just allowed myself to receive these blessings. It's shifted perspective also.
And that's it for now. Stay tuned next week for the second part of this interview, only here on the JPaul Hernandez podcast.